talked a little bit about the penalty kill last night, but wanted to get your thoughts on the power play this round and what you're getting more out of perhaps than in the first 3 rounds on the power play.
Yeah, I mean, our power play this year has been a challenge for us. You know, we're trying to implement some different things from previous years, so that took a while. And then, you know, Mark Stone's a big part of that. He missed half the year, so you're working around that, Jack. That's not excuses, but, you know, you're starting different things then for different people's strengths. So we've kind of settled here in on Marcia So being on his strong side elbow as opposed to the one-timer, which he's played a lot with the second group a lot of the year. And puck seems to be finding him better, and we're having him jack, like the second goal rotate, not maybe design a side for them. So that's helped our movement. I think we understand Florida's how they're trying to kill. Their D do get away from the front of the net, a little more of a diamond coverage so you can get interior, and that's the Stone goal. Even though it's 4-on-3, we find we can get into those pockets as well. So and it comes down to execution and finishing some plays, right? So we're on a bit of a roll that way. You're not going to get 6 goals in 3 games very often in the power play. We understand that. I don't think one was an empty netter, but in general, a couple of them were one was garbage time the other night. But we've tried to be more efficient on it, knowing that we're going to get opportunities. One thing Florida has done is taken minor penalties throughout the whole playoffs. It's not just us. They play a physical game, so we have to make sure we were ready for it. So I think we're a little more maybe prepared than previous series. You know, you're always trying to be good in special teams, but we knew we would have some, and it was very important for us to get it going because it's been kind of a little inconsistent throughout the playoffs.
Right side, 4th row.
Hey Bruce, Gary Lawless, Vegas Golden Knights. In each series, you've been able to grow your game, and finally, you know, like Game 5 versus Winnipeg, and in particular Game 6 versus Edmonton, and then Dallas, you've gotten to a real great level of execution. Are you building towards that in this series? Like, do you think you still have another gear to give in terms of your game?
Yeah, we're building towards it. We liked our game last night. Didn't work out for us. I mean, it could have went either way. We're right there till the end. I thought we played smart shutdown hockey in the third period and tried to extend the lead. That's what we try to do when we have the lead. We don't want to go into a shell. Discipline, take care of the puck, attack when you can. We did. We didn't finish some plays. And they did with the goalie out. So give them credit. And over time, like I said, their first shot went in. So, you know, I thought we were playing the right way. Had an opportunity in the power play and didn't get it done. So. But if you go back to the previous year, I'd go to Edmonton Game 5 and 6. I thought we were good late. Winnipeg, obviously, we grew. Dallas, we had some good games at the start that could have went either way, but Games 3 and 6 were obviously good for us. And the games in between weren't bad. We just didn't win them. And I think we've progressively got better. I think Game 2 here, pucks did go in. Yesterday, we had some similar opportunities that didn't go in. So it's going to happen. You're playing against a really good goaltender and good hockey team, so that's a little bit of how it goes. So we're not going to beat ourselves up over yesterday's game. We're going to do what we always done. We're going to look at where we can get better and keep growing our game and hopefully be better in Game 4. And you know, this is the time of year you have to be better each game. You know, and we've seen it now, right? So is Florida probably what their best game looks like, and or close to it. We'd still like to think we do have another gear but you know, we saw it in Dallas a little bit, somewhat in Edmonton. So I think our guys are familiar with it, and that's what's made us successful. I think we can get back to it quickly because we've seen what it looks like, and that's going to be the challenge for us in Game 4.
Right side, front row.
Steve Wynaway, Associated Press. Following up on Gary's question, just how do you balance the knowing how well you guys have played through 3 games and kind of the confidence of that with maybe needing to make an adjustment or two here along the way?
Well, the guys, you know, we have a mutual respect, coaching staff versus experienced team, and you know, I think they'll have an idea that we'll come in with an idea or two. Let's talk about it and see how we can implement it and not get away from our game. I mean, when you get this far, neither team wants to stray too far from what they've done because they've both been successful, and we certainly feel the first 3 games has been way more good than bad. So I don't think it'll be a tough sell at all. The guys know what's at stake, and it'll be predominantly what we've been doing, 90% of how we want to play. First period execution yesterday wasn't as good as it's been, and some of that might be coming across country, you know, and some of that might be their pressure playing a home game, you know, for the first time in the finals, where we have to deal with some of the, you know, those intangibles. So then you get to your game. So our guys will be fine with that. We're not going to change a lot. We don't need to. But obviously when, every game, win or lose, we're still looking at a few things that we can do better. And their top line got, we're on all over the score sheet. So that's the first area we'll look at. Bobrovsky making big saves. I mean, we just got to keep shooting, right? There's not a whole lot you can change there. The one thing we did better, I think, was get traffic in front of them the previous game. So we'll revisit that as well.
Left side, front row.
Ben Goetz, Las Vegas Street Journal. Bruce, you just touched on their top line kind of being all over the score sheet. I guess what needs to change next game against the Tkachuk line?
Well, in the first goal, we got a little aggressive on the wall. We know that Tkachuk likes to bring people to you and get the puck into the middle of the ice. So that to me is a simple fix. We got away from our D-zone coverage in that one, and Montour's coming down the gut, right? So we've done a good job keeping those shots to the outside and not over pursuing. We had a player in position to take care of Tkachuk, and we doubled, and it didn't work out. The 6-on-5, we just got to be closer to the front of the net. It's the third goal we've given up in the playoffs, in that situation. So we just, again, a mistake that we made that we'll reinforce about staying home. The overtime goal, I mean, we had numbers back. It's a shot that found its way in. It's a shot we give up a lot. So that one I'm not going to overanalyze, and they make a play and they win. So that's a little bit. Other than that, though, I don't think it was flurry after flurry or sustained pressure. So I thought we did a good job against a lot of their guys last night. But again, good players find ways to make plays, and sometimes you don't need a lot of chances. And I guess it was their turn to have pucks go in, and we had a little bit of that in the first two games. So, and that's how I look at it.
Left side, second row.
Hi, Helene Elliott from the LA Times. Just wanted to ask you a little bit about Jonathan Quick and the luxury of having a goaltender with such credentials and such experience and what he has brought, particularly during the playoffs.
Yeah, well, the playoffs, unfortunately, hasn't got a start. But Aiden Hill could better answer that question, Brossoit, what he means to them in terms of the support of the backup needs to give the starter, especially a guy with his experience. To me, he's been outstanding every time I've talked to him. And in practice, if he's not the hardest working guy, he's close. He wants to stay on top of his game in case he does get an opportunity to get into the net. So that part's been terrific, just his work ethic, leading by example. I hear him in the locker room doing his part, relaying experiences and supporting the team. So that's the challenge in front of him, a backup, right? You got to be a bit of a cheerleader in that regard, and a support sort of sounding board for the guy that's playing every night, and he's done all those things. So I can't say enough good things about him. I mean, I'll go back to the season when he helped us win games to get to the position we were in, which is win the Pacific Division. He helped us a lot. So nothing but good from Jonathan, and I don't see that changing.
Right side, up front.
Nick Kotsnick at NHL.com. And as much detail as you're willing to give, just what's your process today? Is everybody away from the rink? Do you meet? How long? Do you want guys thinking about hockey? Do you want them getting away
Typically,
from hockey?
if we're going to have an off day, we want a sort of mental reset. Obviously, as I said, everyone's got a few bumps and bruises you take care of. So we're not practicing today. We'll have a team meeting. Guys will stretch a little bit, get the necessary assistance from the medical team, whoever needs it. We're not doing video today. We'll reattack that stuff tomorrow morning, get back into, okay, now let's focus on the details. Today's, like I said, a reset day. Basically get away from the rink a little bit. It's hard to, you're in the Stanley Cup final, you're never going to completely get away from it, but we're not going to talk Florida Panthers today with the guys. Let's save that for tomorrow.